Welcome, thank you. These are pre-recorded videos using the live on YouTube so that I can make my notes. So if you are here, of course, after the fact, because I'm just going live and I know nobody will be on the live, but blessings to you. Today is 25th of December. My notes today is around the area of the daylight. So the framework that I'm following is called the Healing Framework, and it's a very simple framework for understanding the awareness of human beings. The night situation. Literally, you could buy a copy of this framework on the website in the link downstairs. What do we need to know? We need to know basically that in the day the highlighted activity is about mitochondria. The sunshine means mitochondria is active. The lack of sunshine, which we call evening to night time, remains more activity from the protein creators, which is called the ribosomes. They all live in the same house, which is called the cells. We have trillions of cells according to science, and so what we are trying to do is achieve a symbiotic balance within our life, which is what we call the circadian rhythm, the yin and yang. Whatever culture from, there must be some words to describe day and night. What is happening in the day from this framework theory is that the mitochondria is the one who is alive, kicking up, being active, and of course the activity of the mitochondria is to create ATP, and generally we see it's taking, well, not glucose, but we're gonna use that. Glucose is one of the main substrate into the mitochondria to run its process and put out ATP, and the next substrate that is popular after glucose is plant-based oils or the fatty acids from plants. Now, in both cases, glucose comes from plants and plant-based fatty acids come from plants. So, plants are the source of supply to the mitochondria, and that's a daylight function. That's what the framework is generally pointing to in terms of healing, for you to be aware when you are consuming plant-based products, no matter how whole fiber they are, how whole they are a rich source of glucose, are or the plant-based oils, what we call seed oils, nuts, herb oils, flaxseed oils, all those type of things. Now, when they get into the mitochondria, whether it's the glucose pathway or they get into the next pathway, which is the pathway for plant-based oils, same thing is just imagine that they are going to be moving through a process, and what comes out is ATP. In that entire movement through the process during the day for the mitochondria, there are little hiccups, which we call hiccups in the process, and the hiccups create something called ROS, reactive oxygen species, ROS. If it is the glucose that is run through this process and the ROS is created, we call it ROS, which is the reactive oxygen species. We call that a reactive oxygen species that is of the water soluble type. So I just call it H2O-ROS. What helps to clean up that? Well, vitamin C. So when you speak about vitamin C and its importance, you tie back to the source of plants. When you look at a plant, you'd say glucose is coming from it, and vitamin C more than likely should come together with it, because the mitochondria is going to consume the glucose, and if it has any hiccups, not if, it would have hiccups, it would create ROS, and that would give us the buffering effect for the ROS. That is the vitamin C. Now, if it is the plant oils, the seeds, the nuts, they are putting they come with the vitamin E to do the same job, but for a different type of ROS. It's called the lipid base or the oil based ROS. And all that should work fine, because there is a cleanup guy who would do that. There are cleanup supporting minerals, vitamin C and vitamin E, who would help with the daytime process, which is the mitochondria process, which is the ATP creation process. Call it what you want. Now, that process has been begging us to pay attention to it in the day, because most of us are eating foods that have taken out the vitamin C and taken out the vitamin E. If you are eating fast foods, you have taken out the vitamin C and vitamin E. The bread, the bun, the bread, the potatoes, they don't have vitamin C. So all that we need to do as wise young people is to prepare ourselves to say, The one thing that I would invest in going forward is a bottle of good vitamin C, and I would invest in bottles of vitamin E. Of course, the link in my bio, I will provide you with some good recommendation. I'm not selling any supplement, but I have some that I have researched. I'm going to provide some good recommendation of vitamin E and vitamin C that you may want to hang on to as your supplement. So you take one a day just in case you don't have things like lime juice or fruit juices or whole fruits. You see, if you look at the fruit, you'll see vitamin C is there with the fruit. If you look at whole plants, vitamin C is there with these plants. That comes with glucose. So you might be eating a fruit, it tastes very nice because it has glucose and fructose, but it has vitamin C to buffer the effects in the mitochondria when the glucose is being converted to ATP. When you look at the plant base and you look at the seed oils, same issues. The vitamin E was there to buffer the effects. Now you don't have those things and you are still living your life in 2024, 2025, 2026, whenever you're looking at this, you would have to ask yourself, am I getting the vitamin E from the foods that I'm eating? More than likely, if we are living in the fast-paced society that we are living in now, we are not aware of these things. We are not. So what we want to get is at least have our supplements in our left hand and our right hand, vitamin C and vitamin E, with the knowledge to say, I know why I'm taking vitamin C for one reason, at least to help the ROS, that is water soluble, from the mitochondria to be buffered out so that I don't have down the road issues that's going to lead it to metabolic diseases in the mitochondria. Or again, all that you need to sit down and say, in the day when I eat plants, I need vitamin C and vitamin E. Ask yourself, if you are buying foods from fast food restaurants, are you going to get vitamin C and vitamin E in it? Your assumption should be zero. No. You have to say to yourself, then I would buffer, I would provide vitamin C and vitamin E in the day. Again, folks, if you want a copy of the framework, you have to click in the link to to own your own copy of the framework. However, it is important to understand, in the day is your mitochondria's most active session, which is the ATP creation. Of course, it's doing a lot of other things. You could ask if you want to know what else that is happening here in terms of mitochondria, because I have lots of insight on these theories. They are all theories. They are just a framework theory. There is nothing here that is scientific based, but we could share some more details if you are interested in this thing. Thank you for viewing, and hopefully that you'll get back into the next session.